He comes from the lands of watches, chocolates and penknives. He is 26 years old. He competes in the Global Champions Tour and already has been in the top 10 of the FA ranking. Today with us in Out of the Box, Martin Fuchs. Martin, hello, how are you?
Thank you.
Martin, Fuchs means fox in English, and foxes are known for being sharp-minded and also to find always their way around. Is also like this? Is also how Martin is?
I hope, I've been very lucky to be born into a good horse family, which brought me to this level, so I guess we have a good way to manage good results.
One thing I discovered about you is that your father was the coach of your idol in terms of horses. Is this why Garrelat is your favorite horse rider, because he was coached by your father?
Actually, Steve Gerda was it already before, was my idol before my father was coaching him. So for this it was a very nice step when my father became the coach of Steve.
You think that for being in a horse family for so long, and even if you have ice hockey as an hobby, was there a time where you were somehow divided in following the ice hockey, or ice hockey was always a hobby and you decided that okay, horses will be my life?
Horses was always my life. Already as a small boy I was a lot in the stable. I took care of the horses and watched my parents ride, and then with 7 years old I got my first pony and started from there to compete at small shows.
Like you said, you started riding very, very early. Was there a time where you felt that maybe I will do something different, or you always thought that about being a horse rider?
I always thought that I would become a rider, and also on my path to become an international rider there were some up and downs like for everyone else, but sure. I never had a doubt to stop or to continue.
How do you feel for being so young and already having the responsibility, if you can say it like that, of being in the top 10 of FA world ranking?
Yeah, I mean, top 10 in the world is something very special. It has been a goal of mine for a long time, and to achieve it already so early is amazing. But it's not any pressure. It's just good things. As I say, even if I drop out of the top 10 for a while, I know I will be back up there.
In very short time. You are known in your family for being a little upset for when you are producing horses, seeing them go and seeing them being sold. How do you deal with that? Is something that still upsets you a lot, or now you can deal with that a little bit better because you know it's part of the sport and part of the
Exactly. I have had very good horses of mine being sold already, but I was lucky to have had other good horses, and now I have some very good horse owners, which secure me my few best horses, which is very nice. But still, there is always once in a while a horse that's getting sold, and that's not always so easy. But that's part of my job and part of my life.
With such a strong connection with the horse, how did you felt when Clooney got that problem because of a colic and he had to do a surgery?
It was a very difficult time. A lot of, I would say, sleepless nights or sleepless hours. A lot of worrying. So we were happy that he recovered really well after a short time. And we had big hopes for his return.
Because colic is always a very hard trouble with horses. Was there a time that you felt that okay, maybe I will lose him, maybe he will not come back?
The most critical days are always the first few, and even in those few days he looked very good. So he gave us a lot of hope. And actually I was never thinking that I was going to lose him, because he's such a strong horse, and I knew that he would fight and he would be back.
And at that time you were winning a lot. You got a win in five-star Grand Prix. You were both jumping very well, so it must be somehow a surprising moment for you to have passed by that situation.
Exactly. Clooney had a really good start in the year 2018. and then we won 2 Grand Prix in January in Basel and in Zurich.
Yes.
And after this we gave him a break, and when he came back from the break and went to his first show is when the colic happened. So this was a really upsetting moment, but I was even happier to bring him in June already back to the shows.
In your home, you deal with the 3 of them, so who is more complicated? Koi fishes, snakes, or horses?
Horses, for sure. It's horses, we take so much care of them, we spend a lot of time with them, and they are such big animals, they do a lot of efforts, they give a lot for us, so it's just normal to give also a lot back to them.
As a good Swiss can be, you never leave your home without a watch. So, also as a good Swiss can be, when is the perfect timing to taste a good chocolate?
Actually, yesterday, normally I'm not crazy about chocolate, I can very good stay without sweets, but yesterday I was craving for chocolate and had to go even in Portugal to a shop to buy some chocolate for me.
In 2011, you were alongside the president of FAY, the Princess of Jordan, when the new headquarters of the FAY were opened. Yes, thank you. And it was all in your country, in Swiss. Did you felt truly recognized in that moment as a person and as a rider?
It was for me a special moment to get this invitation to open with Princess Haya the new headquarters, especially since we are very good friends of Princess Haya, so it was nice to see her. She's always very busy. And then to have it in Switzerland, in Lausanne, it's nice for our country that we have so important facilities in Switzerland.
And especially in terms of horses, which is your work. 3 years later, you won the Grand Prix Gucci Masters in Paris, and one of the things you referred was that it's always a pleasure to have the opportunity for young riders to jump in such a big classes and such a big competitions, because normally young riders don't have that possibility. Do you feel that sometimes the young riders have really to struggle to make a name?
It's not just for young riders, also for older riders hard to get to the 5-star shows, but young riders, I would say, deserve a bit more the chance to prove themselves. And I've had a good experience in my young rider career, but it was also thanks to my parents who helped me a lot to get into big shows. They knew a lot of organizers, and then of course with having good results, they like to invite you back, and then you can usually do the big shows.
On the last Olympic Games of Rio, you were able to achieve top 10, both in individually terms and also in terms of team. Do you start to feel that pressure upon your shoulders for having so much good results that people are always expecting a lot from you?
No, I mean that's not. It's not a pressure that people are expecting of me. It's a pressure that I want to be good. Usually I always want to be a bit better and win Grand Prix and do good results. Even here in Vilamoura, it's not just training, it's also here. Just before in the small Grand Prix, I tried to win, I was only second. Of course, I would have preferred to be first. And this makes our sport interesting, to have different horses on different levels competing and trying to win also at 2-3-star shows sometimes.
One of your biggest ambitions was to compete in this year's WEG, World Equestrian Games. The competition was in the United States. Was it a dream come true just for being there, or because you placed in second, your dream was not that true?
I mean, the dream was to do a medal, not just being there, also to perform well. And that was amazing. We had a very special week with the Swiss team that was in the lead for 2 days, and then we dropped down on the 4th place after some bad rounds. So the big gold medal was achieved on Sunday with silver.
On the Global Champions League, you are part of the team, the London Knights. You have the chance to ride with such good riders as Ben Mayer, for example. How did that invitation come? How did the chance to be part of that specific team came to you?
Yeah, that's through Ben Mayer. His owner, the Podham Farms, are sponsoring the London Knights, and they were looking for one more rider. And since Ben and I are good friends, he asked me if I would like to join their team. And yeah, we have had great results on this team, and everyone is happy like this.
You are now number one. You already had the chance to win also some editions of the Champions Tour. What's your next biggest goal? Tokyo 2020, for example?
We still have a lot before this. The Rolex Grand Slam in Geneva this year is a very big goal. Geneva is very special. Rolex Grand Slams are the best shows in the world. To have one in our home country, that's even more special. And then the new GCT playoffs in Prague, the week after Geneva, so it's going to be a very interesting 2 weeks. And then in the long term, I want to stay in the top 10, and there is so many championships and big Grand Prix which I would really like to win, so there is still a lot to come.
Martin, thank you very much. I hope to see you again in Vilamoura in very short time, and seeing you achieve very big, good results.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.